The National Museum of Puerto Rican Arts will be featuring some of the best cultural experiences Chicago has to offer. And they'll be offering a production that is coming here to Chicago. It is Julia de Burgos, Child of Water. They're going to be showing it there. And so to tell us a little bit more about it, we've got three folks. Ivan Vega, who is the Executive Director of Urban Theater, partnering with the Cultural Center to do this. Also the playwright of this production, Carmen Rivera, and Director Juan Castañeda. Welcome to the three of you.
Thank you.
Nice to have you. This is very exciting stuff. Always nice when we bring a little culture here to Chicago. And I like that it's a Midwest premiere right here.
Absolutely,
yes.
yes.
All right, so let's start with the basics. Julia de Burgos. You mentioned that a lot of people don't know who she is, and she is, you know, beloved in Puerto Rico as a famous poet of that island. Yeah.
And she was a poet who was born in 1914 and died in 1953 in New York. And her work is wonderful. She had such a global reach in her voice. And I've since found out that she's one of the poets most studied in Latin America, studied abroad, but in the United States and within the Latino communities here, she's not as known. And I think with the centennial of her birth, which is this year, a lot of people discovering who she is. And her work is just so exquisite. She was ahead of her time.
She was a feminist.
A feminist.
Yeah.
She wore, like, very famous shot of her wearing male riding pants. Oh. You know, she's photographed with all these Puerto Rican poets, and she's the only one, like, she's the woman in the male riding pants, and there's still dust. Yeah. On the pants, so she must have just gotten off the horse. And I mean, I feel, for me, and this is just my own personal love for her work, is that she was so ahead of her time, we haven't caught up to her yet. The world that she was envisioning for us did not have the boundaries of race and class. Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah, and you brought up an interesting point that a lot of people compare her to somebody we love very much, Frida Kahlo.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Artists who had a very strong voice, but were not recognized in their own lifetime, and then after they've passed, their work has remained and just inspires people so much because they were really seeing and hearing things that other people were not seeing and hearing.
All right, I want you to hold that thought because I want to bring in these two gentlemen that are here with me on each end of you. You are with the Urban Theater.
That is correct.
And you're working with the Cultural Center to bring this to Chicago. Why the partnership? How did this come about?
So Urban Theater Company, we turned 10 in May, and we've been making theater accessible to the Humboldt Park community, professional theater accessible. So we've been working with the Puerto Rican Cultural Center, and in this production, it's being produced by Urban Theater Company in association with the National Museum of Puerto Rican Arts and Culture. So it's a perfect play that, even though it's not about the community, it's a perfect partnership between these organizations so we can present a familiar figure like Julia de Burgos to the Humboldt Park community.
Okay, and I want to bring you into the conversation as well because you're the big director in all of this. Tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of the challenges in putting something like this together. And it's not in a traditional venue, right? Like
it is
a
not
theater.
in a traditional
it's
venue.
It's in a cultural center, so I'm assuming that probably has some challenges.
It's had its challenges, but it's allowed us to be a lot more creative in our choices as well. I mean, yeah, from the beginning, like the stage that we got, it's allowed us to really exemplify the acting and just the writing. So yeah, that's been awesome.
Is it going to be pretty intimate?
It's going to be very intimate. Yeah, they will be close enough. Proximity, almost touching distance.
Wow, I always think those are the best ones. You know what?
Yeah,
I love that. Carmen, to get back to you, and you're the playwright in all of this, and you said that you worked on this back in the 90s, and it's only now that we're seeing the production. Why?
Well, it opened in New York in the 90s, and it sort of had a nice life. It opened off Broadway and went to Puerto Rico, and then I didn't know, life went on.
And everybody kind of just forgot about it.
Yeah, I sort of didn't even realize that I wasn't thinking about it. And then Julia's 99th birthday came in 2013, and then they were like, oh, what are we going to do for the centennial? So I started to do readings again. And then my husband, Candido Tirado, who's also a playwright director, worked with Urban Theater Company, and we love these guys. And they started talking about Julia de Burgos and the centennial.
And here we are.
And here we are. And I'm really humbled and honored. I feel blessed that I'm going to
Yeah.
have the Midwest premiere
yeah.
with these guys because they've given so much love to the play, but also to her legacy.
We wish you the
It's
best
important.
of luck. Let's bring
Thank
the
you.
information up on the screen. Julia de Burgos, Child of Water, November 13th to the 14th, 3015 West Division. That's the Cultural Center. You can get ticket information, urbantheaterchicago.org.